Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dork Side. I am the Dork on the Road, and today the time has come for me to once again put my life on the line in pursuit of science. That's right, I'm going to take my DRZ400S and I'm going to ride it on the freeway. I am the Dork on the Road and I want to be your internet riding buddy, so please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on those notifications so that you know when I post awesome new science-y content just like this. This is my 2020 DRZ400S. One of the major complaints you sometimes hear about dual sports is that they're not good on the highway, they can't handle the highway, and today I'm going to prove that wrong by taking this DRZ400S on the freeway and showing you how it does at freeway speeds. A couple things to know about my bike. Probably the most important thing is these are 90-10 tires, so these are the Kenda Trackmasters. They are not ideal for this particular application. We'll head out to the freeway and I will give you my impressions as we ride along the freeway at freeway speeds on this 400cc dual sport bike. So before we get too far into the faster speeds, let me apologize in advance for the wind noise. The mic in my street helmet is funky. Hasn't been working great, so I will be wearing my dual sport helmet and it's a little bit louder. So I'll talk loud and do what I can to edit out some of the wind noise, but I think we're going to feel it. So if you're not familiar with the DRZ400, which would surprise me if you clicked on this video, comes in two versions. There's the DRZ400S, which is the one I'm sitting on. That is the off-road model with the bigger wheels and the off-road tires, and I've swapped out the stock tires to something even more off-roady. And there is the DRZ400SM, which is the supermoto version, has smaller wheels, street tires. It would be far better equipped for what we're about to attempt. But I don't care because the DRZ400S is the one that I have. If you're a DRZ owner and you're wondering if you can ride it to the places you want to ride off-road, you're probably going to take the highway or the freeway to get there. So we're going to explore what that looks like on this bike right now. Sorry, I know you came to see it be on the freeway and I've just rambled this whole time, but one, that's how my videos are. So, you know, if you haven't seen them before and you like rambling, consider subscribing. But two, I had to do something while I was making my way to the actual freeway. This turn, when the light changes, we'll be getting on the freeway. That's the on-ramp. Some people say it's dumb to ride dual sports on the freeway, and I say it's not something I'd want to do all day, but it's doable, it's possible. A couple more things to know about the DRZ if you're not super familiar with it is carbureted bike, so not fuel injected, and no 6th gear, only 5 gears. So we will get into gear 5. I will attempt to get into 6th gear because I do almost every time, because I don't count as I shift up, and then we'll be disappointed and piss wound for the 5 or 6 miles until we get to the next exit. Alright, here we go, getting on the freeway on the DRZ. That was neutral. Alright, so plenty of power on the on-ramp. Keep in mind, I'm on those 90-10 really soft dual sport tires, so this could be interesting. Alright, I'm in 5th gear already. You're going to get some vibration. Like I said, that front tire is not all the way balanced. Okay, we are at 67 miles an hour, and we're getting out in front of this semi, 70. Not too bad. Okay, whoa, just a little wobble going over that crack. Alright, so I'm going to try this. I'm going to stay at 70 for a little while. So not as wobbly or a crazy feeling as I expected. Definitely vibrating. Some of that is the tires, and some of it is, it's piss wound, man. This is 5th gear, 70 miles an hour. But in my other dual sports, my 250s, at these speeds I had nothing. Like, it was all the way out. Is all, you could not accelerate if you needed to. But I don't know if you can see the speedo. Not very well watched. I can accelerate 74, 75, 76, 80. I couldn't do 80 on any of the other bikes, so in comparison to my 250s, a lot more power on the freeway on this bike. So you are safer because you have the ability to brake to get out of trouble, you have the ability to swerve to get out of trouble, and you have the ability to accelerate out of trouble. On the 250s, the other dual sports, you don't really have the ability to accelerate at this speed. I'm honestly pleasantly surprised at how much power it has, and it's wound out, but it's not crazy. It's not super bad vibration necessarily. So I think we can cruise at 75 pretty comfortably. I didn't feel a ton of wind when that car went by me. This is not a heavy motorcycle. It's very light, 320 pounds I think. So my guess is big brakes coming at you are definitely going to cause you to be pushed around a little bit, and my guess is if a semi or something passed me here, I would be blown around quite a bit by that too. So just something to keep in It's a light bike. It's not really designed for what I'm doing to it right now, but it can handle it. I think you could do this for a while if you had to. I mean, an hour or so would probably be reasonably tolerable, but you definitely would want to stop if you were going to do much more than that. Take breaks. I know it's not really like a serious question because people have taken these things all over the country, ridden them for tens of thousands of miles, but I just wanted to proof of concept, give you some on the bike, on the freeway proof that it's totally viable. All things considered, everything's going better than expected. She makes a lot of noise. You can probably hear the sound coming off my skid plate, but even with rim locks and off-road tires, and this bike is very set up for off-road, it's fine. She's doing just fine. So we're gonna get off here and turn around and come back on the freeway, ride back home that way. So if you had any concerns about whether or not the DRZ400, either SM or S model, can handle the freeway, I just proved to you that it absolutely can, and honestly, with flying colors, it's done very well. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. My Africa Twin is a lot more comfortable, but in terms of can it physically survive the trip, will it get you there, ride a couple hours on the freeway or an hour on the freeway to get to your destination, you totally could. This bike is so all around just capable and surprisingly awesome. It's done everything I've ever asked it to do and then some. It's done it better than I've expected. So that went better than I expected, especially given my past experience riding 250 smaller class dual sports on the freeway. You'll get blown around some, but you've got plenty of power to even accelerate. My guess is the top speed is going to be somewhere around 90. I bet you this bike will do 90 miles an hour, but I got it up to 80 easily. All right, we're getting back on the freeway. All right, we're getting back on the freeway up north, back to the house. Fifth gear, tried 6, it's not there. The pavement's grooved because they're doing work on the road right now, so this is not a good idea. It's much windier going this way because the wind is coming at me. So my speed in the other direction was definitely influenced by the wind at my back. Now I'm riding into it, and it's a lot harder to get up to these speeds, for sure. Yeah, that made a big difference. Okay, so take everything I said on the other side with a massive grain of salt because the wind was at my back. But we can still get to 75. I've still got power to accelerate. I've got some left over. She can do it, even on the dual sport tires. So still an impressive bike. Not built for the freeway, but can handle it if you need to for a short time. I wouldn't tour across the country or ride all the way to Alaska on this thing, although people have done it. But in terms of getting there and getting back, I think you're fine. Before I said you didn't get blown around a lot, I'm definitely getting blown around by the wind, so that's good to know. Wind is definitely a factor on a bike that weighs this much. And by this much, I mean this little. What's up, guy? Man, there's nothing this bike won't do. I was hitting rocky-ass trails and going off jumps like a week ago. Massive, rocky, technical trails, super off-road stuff, and now I'm just cruising down the freeway. Same motorcycle. I love this thing. DRZ, best bike ever made. Don't tell my Africa Twin I said that. We have safely exited the freeway. I have once again survived a dangerous expedition in the name of science. Riding into the wind is much louder, we just discovered. Yeah, you can see the windsock. I was totally riding right into it. So, final thoughts on the DRZ400 on the freeway. More capable than you're probably thinking. Not comfortable, but capable. More comfortable than you probably expect. You've got more power than you need, and then some. It's a light bike, so the wind is going to blow you all over the place, whether you're riding into it or a semi goes by or something like that. It's nice to have that extra power on the freeway. Maneuverable enough. It's definitely a little, you get a little feeling of a wobbliness just with meaty tires like this, but I think she can do it. So if you're worried about getting a DRZ400 and you need to ride on the freeway sometimes, I think you're fine. If you're getting a bike just to ride on the freeway, I don't know if the DRZ is the right choice. Now the SM will do everything that I just said, but better because it has better tires for it, and you're going to have a much more comfortable ride. But the engine speed and everything's going to be about the same. So keep that in mind. Everything I just said will apply to both the S model, which is what I'm riding, and the SM. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't be afraid to hit that like button. I appreciate your support. And, you know, if you like what you see, you want to see more crazy DRZ rides and other dual sport shenanigans, please consider subscribing. But for now, and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you. Excellent! Full gear because, you know, freeway mishaps happen, so we are head to toe at Gat, baby. At Gat.